2024 will be here before we know it. But because of the pace of the end of the year, it's easy to let it get here, to let that new year get here without doing any preparation because we're so in the moment right now that we forget to look ahead. And as a listener of the Tough Love for Moms podcast, I know you're all about being intentional. So let's talk about why right now is the time to prep for the new year and what you can do this week to get ready before the holidays come in full force. Welcome to the Tough Love Mom podcast, where you'll get the equipping and encouragement you need to do the hard things that lead to a healthy life. I'm Liz, and I'm a mom just like you. I've struggled in my journey, but I overcame by educating myself and by hearing about moms who had done hard things too. Get ready for the information you want and the motivation you need. You ready, friend? It's tough love time. Like I said in the intro, we've got a lot coming up at the end of the year. It is fast paced and it flies by. The next 4 to 5 weeks feel like 2 weeks. And so we need to take advantage of the time we do have to prep for the new year. So why prep now? Why is it important to start looking ahead to the new year when it's still the end of November? First off, we've got 4 weeks left, just over 4 weeks. And the final week of the year is straight holidays, right? Christmas falls right around the beginning of a week. New Year's Eve will be at the end, and then we're in a new year. And then for many of you, your kids will not have school for those final 2 weeks of the year. So there cuts out the final 4 weeks we've got left, 2 of them out the window because you're going to be in a different routine, right? Your kids will be home from school. Then we've got all the holidays, Christmas and New Year's. So we really have about 2 weeks of normalcy left. And even then, I'm guessing that right now you're prepping for the holidays, you're ordering Christmas presents, you're putting up decorations, you're packing if you're traveling or planning to pack. It's busy right now. It's already started. The hustle has already begun. So right now, in the final days of November, in the first week or even first 2 weeks of December, is when I want you to start getting ready for the new year. This also allows you, what this does, and I don't want you to be like stressing and thinking, okay, new year, I got to get on it. I need to be on the ball. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of it is so you can spend those last 2 weeks resting, more present, and actually enjoying the people around you instead of feeling you're just trying to get through the next day with your head above the water. Because it can feel like that as a mom during the holidays with so many different types of obligations and places to go and people to see and things to do, that we get lost in ourselves and the things we're doing and we don't get to enjoy those 2 weeks. So if you can do work ahead of time, if you can be intentional, you can spend those final 2 weeks in a state of rest and being present and just enjoying those around you. And those things I know can feel elusive as a mom, but they really are not elusive things if you're intentional about what you do and when you do it. So let's talk about what to do to prepare for the new year right now so you can slow down in those final 2 weeks of this year. First up, get a 2024 calendar or planner if you have not done so yet. My Plum paper planner just came last week. I'm so excited about it. Plum Paper is a company that they do planners and notebooks and some other fun stuff like that. I've gotten my planner from them the last 4 years, I think now, but they're customizable. There's different sizes. You can choose. They're perfect. And I like that they're customizable because of the way I plan my weeks. You can do weekly, daily, monthly planner, different sizes. It's just super customized, and every year there's different options. There's reflection sheets for each month. And so I can look back at the previous month and say, okay, what 3 words would describe the month of November for me? And I'll be doing this in 2 days when it's the last day of the month. What were my favorite parts of the month? What were the best things I did? What was surprising? How did I do an act of kindness for someone? It just helps you think back on the month of what went well, what didn't go well, and what can you do next month to improve on that a little bit. And I've done that the last 4 years with my Plum paper planners because I always get those reflection sheets, and it has transformed the way I show up intentionally in my life. It is amazing. And then aside from all the customization you can do, I did not plan this tangent, but like I said, my planner came last week, so I'm very excited. And it's a great place to go find something that works for you. If you've never ordered from them, you can get a discount code at the link below, but get a clean calendar, a planner, a fridge calendar, whatever works for you. Get one for next year now, because I'm guessing doctor appointments, dentist appointments are already getting booked for the new year. I know I've got a handful that I had to write down in the notes on my phone because I didn't have a calendar for next year yet. So you've already got those, on the docket. You've probably need to start looking at dates when you're going on trips or visiting family, when school will be out, when those breaks are. So it does you well to look ahead. And this is what getting a planner, makes it tangible, makes it something that you can touch, something you can look at for next year. And doing this right now is just going to allow you to feel more mentally prepared and ready for next year, because it's coming, and it's coming in hot. Okay, because we talk about physical health here, the second thing I want you to start doing this week is thinking big picture of what you want to focus on with your health in the first half of the year. So that was multi-part here. Let's break it down. I want you to start thinking big picture. Okay? Not for the full year, for half the year when it comes to your focus for your health. I don't want you thinking about January through December because that's just too big sometimes. But January up until summer, I think that works. It aligns with a lot of our kids' school years, and it allows you to look smaller so you can feel like you accomplished something. It's a little more doable than saying the next 12 months, right? So January through the summer, what do you want to accomplish, feel, work towards? This is big picture. So it's not specific, like a certain number on the scale or specific races or honestly anything measurable. If you've heard of SMART goals, I did an episode why I don't like SMART goals sometimes, because I don't think it's a good starting place when you're thinking about what you want to do for your health. I don't think it's a good starting point because it gets too specific too fast. And if you fail at it, it's frustrating and it is disappointing. And you know what? Life is unpredictable as a mom, and you can't always make everything on a specific timeline. And the different pieces of a SMART goal, I just don't think are as applicable when it comes to a mom and her health journey. So I'll link that episode so you can go listen to it if you haven't heard it before, but think more along the lines of what you envision for your health. Some examples, because I don't want to give you exactly what to think about, but do you want to get stronger? Maybe increase your endurance? Do you want to just better your overall health in terms of blood work and whatnot? Think big picture here, okay? And I know we're trained to think specific and measurable and achievable and time-oriented, like timeline. No. Think big picture, something that doesn't really have a start or an end point or an exact way to describe success of it. I want you to kind of envision, again, big picture, a vision. But you have to have, the reason for this is you have to have an aim before you get into a plan. So this whole SMART goal thing comes from being able to plan for your goal. How are you going to achieve it? But before you think about how, you have to decide what. And that's the whole purpose of this. And that's why a lot of people fall off, is they just go straight to what plan am I going to do? How am I going to make this happen? Instead of saying, what is it that I actually want to happen? A lot of the times people say, I just want to lose this weight. I'm going to do it this way. And then they either fall off because it's too specific of a goal and it's either reached and there's nothing to work for after the fact, or it takes way too long to reach. You get discouraged and you give up. And a lot of the times, if you have nothing to work for after the fact, even if you do reach that goal, you regress back to prior habits because all you did was quick 180 everything, instead of slowly stacking your habits, changing little things over time and making it a lifestyle. So don't fall into the trap of just going straight into how am I going to do this? I want you to think about, what am I even aiming towards? What kind of big picture focus am I going to take into the first half of 2024 when it comes to my health? Personally, I haven't thought about this yet. This is something I'm going to sit down this week and decide, and then go into the next step, okay? Don't let this happen to you where you get too specific right off the bat and end up setting yourself up for failure. Don't let that happen. Decide big picture focus for the first half of the year and make that your number one priority. And last thing I want you to do this week is decide now on a specific plan after you've thought about that big picture. To keep it basic, because most bigger picture goals do eventually involve these three components. These are the three things I want you to think about and entail in your plan. What will your physical activity look like? What consumption habits do you need to address, specifically food, liquids, like what you're drinking, and even consuming visually, TVs, phones, what are you taking in to your body? And third, what will your sleep look like? When it comes to everything from strength to endurance to just general wellness, these three things are all components that need to be addressed, but they don't all need to be addressed at once, okay? So I don't want you saying, okay, for January 1, I'm going to make a physical activity plan. I'm going to think about the food and the stuff that I'm drinking, and I'm also going to attack my sleep all at once. When you try to do all of that at one time, again, that's going back to we attack it all at once. It gets too much. We fall off, get frustrated, and give up on that goal or take months to get back to it. And I don't want you falling into that. So these are all things that do eventually need to be addressed, but they don't need to all be addressed at once. So again, come up with a specific plan, but then how are you going to tackle that? One thing at a time. What I created last year, Starting Point School, is a great thing that can walk you through that. That's still available. You can find that as well in the show notes. But those are the three simple things I want you to do. Look at a calendar this week. Today is the 22nd. No, it's the 29th. I should know that. Today is the 29th. We've got the 30th and then December 1st. So look at a calendar. We've got 3 days left of the week. Decide when you will do each of these three things. 1, get a calendar for next year or a planner. 2, decide on your big picture focus for the first half of the year when it comes to your health. And then number 3, decide on a specific plan. All right, you got this. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, boom, you're prepared for the new year. It does not take a lot of time. You can do this in 15 minutes a day when your kids are settled for a few minutes, sit down with a notebook and do these things. Get on Amazon, order that calendar. It does not take a lot. You just have to follow through. So do it, get prepared for next year, and let's get after it. Before you go, thank you for spending this time with me on the Tough Love Mom podcast. If this episode encouraged you in any way, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a review letting me know how the show has impacted you. Then send this episode to another mom friend, or take a screenshot, post it on social media, and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me on this journey to impact thousands of moms. I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you, sister. Until next time, get after it.